Well, I'm on the farm today. I'm over here next to my white barn with the green roof, and got the looking right here at the Model 50 Massey Ferguson with the loader. And this tractor is fitted with a cartridge type oil filter. My other Model 50 Massey was the same arrangement, and one of the things I did when I bought it was I changed this out to a screw-on filter. I just like screw-on filters. I know people sometimes get a little upset when you replace the cartridge with a screw-on, but when it boils right down to it, it's my tractor. I'll do as I wish. So I got a filter kit, and it came with an oil filter, and it comes with a casting that bolts in place of this one, and then a filter screws up on it as any screw-on filter would do. And the only wrinkle is the screws are a different length between this and this, so I got to work that out. I've got some screws of a different length. I hope this will work. I hope this is not like a 10-part video, but what I'm gonna do is we'll get something under this filter to catch the oil, and I'm gonna take this off. So I had a video up earlier. You can look it up, and I think it's called something like Farm Toolboxes or Traveling Farm Toolboxes. And the tools I'm using are right out of that video, and that keep these tools in the back of my Honda CR-V farm truck. So I'm going to take this canister loose. I really don't need to, since I'm replacing this whole casting right here. But on my other Model 50, when I did this change, one of the things I found was there were springs, or supposed to be springs, inside this canister that held the I guess it pushed the filter. It's been a long time since I changed that one, but I think it was supposed to push this filter up on this face right here. Nonetheless, whatever springs were in there, they were gone, and while there was a cartridge in there, there wasn't a whole lot of filtration going on. So, but let me pull this off and I'll come back. All right, so I got the canister off, and man, this oil is some kind of dirty. There is a spring in there, and there was the washer that sat on top of it. So this one was actually set up correctly. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take that casting off. I'll come. All right, so I took my little ball peen hammer and lightly tapped this thing. And of course, being the genius I am, I didn't think about it falling in the pan of oil there. And there's a little oil in that from another oil change I had, so only a little bit of that oil came out of this filter assembly, but nonetheless, it was enough to get this thing really dirty. But that's okay, we're not going to be using that anymore. So I'm going to check this surface and kind of get rid of any old gasket on here and wipe it down real good, and then we'll try to put the other casting on, and hopefully spin on a new filter here in just a little bit. So this filter kit, the new casting, does not come with bolts to screw in the block, and so you got to buy. You can see that the new casting is shorter than the old casting, and so you have to buy bolts to go with this casting, the new one, because the kit just doesn't come with them. And it's a 3/8 24 3.5 bolt is what I got here, right there. 3/8 24. It's a fine thread. It's not a coarse thread. And So right away, you can see there's about an inch difference in the length of these bolts. So there's two things that are important. A new bolt that is the correct length, and also fine threads. And it should bolt right up. I don't have any lock washers with me, so I'll use the ones off this one that's on there. I really need some new lock washers, but I can always pull these things out, I guess, and replace them one at a time. But right now, before it gets dark on me, I want to go ahead and screw this thing in and see what I got. Alright, so I got the casting up on here, and my bolts are long enough, but I think if they'd have been like another 1/8 of an inch longer, I'd felt a little bit better about it. But we'll see how this goes. I mean, the worst case is this whole thing could fall off and the engine lock up. I don't think that's going to happen. So next thing up is the oil filter. And by the way, I had the presence of mind to move my oil pan out of the way in case I dropped this or anything else. It wouldn't go in the drink of the dark black oil. I'll come back. So the screw-on filter that came with the kit is by Anglo Agri Parts, and it says England. And I was thinking, what in the world have they given me? And so I looked it up, and they are a legit, again, I apologize for the wind, but it is a legit filter make, and you know, it crosses over what it's supposed to be. I typically use, I believe it's a Purelator filter on my other Model 50, but or maybe it's a Napa. I think it's a Napa filter. I can't remember. But in any event, I have to tell you that some of these Napa filters are getting right pricey, and it makes the dealership competitive. So let me screw this thing on and we'll see what we got. Alright, so there it is. It's in place, screw-on filter. And got another video. I mentioned a video on my traveling farm tools, but also a video on swapping out the cartridge filter on my Farmall 350 to a screw-on filter. And you know, when it comes to oil filters and their housing, we're not purists up here. We're kind of into working tractors, and I just like a screw-on filter. And I realize these cartridge filters work like a champ, but usually what happens to me is I come up here and start working on a tractor, and I got a half hour before it gets dark, and for whatever reason, what can go wrong will go wrong. And if you farm, you kind of know what I'm talking about. So not going to fire off the Massey here. I'm going to finish this job with an oil change, and so I need to drain that pan, and I won't get all that on video. But let's see here, one more thing, the kit that I got, and this is the same one that I've got on my other Model 50. I don't know if it's the same manufacturer, but I'm pretty sure it's the same part number. And you know, this is the same casting that would go on. I want to say somewhere along the way, the Model 135 Massey started out with a cartridge filter, and then they went to a screw-on filter, but it might have been after that. But this is basically the same casting as what came on later Massey Ferguson tractors. This came again from Tisco. This is not an endorsed video. I know them, but they don't know me, except when it comes to exchanging money. So that's the video. I got to clean up some stuff here, and then I need to drain the oil and filter and refill it, and I'll have an oil change done. The maintenance continues here on the farm, and I hope you enjoyed this changeover, and we'll talk to you later.